Welcome everybody to another edition of Papa Bojo's Kitchen. Today I'm going to make a Middle Eastern salad, more specifically the IRAQI salad from Iraq. What's special about this is it's very fresh and it's done very quickly. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do this video from start to finish without taking any cuts. The first thing you want is you either want the small little cucumbers or you want a nice thin cucumber like this. You really don't want to use the traditional normal cucumbers because they're too fleshy, and you really want the skin to give that little bit extra crunch. So what I do is I'll cut the ends off, and then I'll cut this into, say, 3 segments. And then we'll cut these into stripes like that. And what I like to do is I like to make them about the size of the chickpeas that we're also going to use in this salad. And so I'm just going to continue cutting here. I'm not taking any cuts because I want to show you exactly how quickly this thing comes together. It's a fantastic salad. It's healthy for you. And actually it fills you up pretty good. The chickpeas are pretty good when it comes to that kind of stuff. And it's got some tartness in it. You're going to want to get sumac, S-U-M-A-C. And what that is, you'll see it's just a bit of the spice we're going to use. It's a citric type spice, almost like lemony. So you see the size pieces I have this cut into. I'm going to just take this and put it in our bowl. Then I'm going to take 2 tomatoes. I use Roma tomatoes because the Roma tomatoes, you don't have as many seeds. And so actually they're better than a regular tomato. Regular tomato, like a beef steak or something, I wouldn't use that only because you're going to get so much flesh and so many seeds, and it's going to be just too watery. So I'm cutting this in like the same size pieces that I cut the cucumber in. And you see all I'm doing is I slice the tomato in about 1/4 inch slices like this. And then you want a sharp knife so you can actually cut through the skin. And then I'm going to cut through these. I almost have 1 tomato done. And the tops, if you want, you can save the little bits and pieces on the top and cut those. Actually, you can save those and just cut around the stem. That's what I do with them. I'll just toss them away. It's not really enough there in terms of flesh to put it in. And it's always good to have a bench scraper too to pick up your tomatoes and put them in. And here's my second one. Again, I'm slicing off the top. I slice once on the bottom so I have a nice, safe, flat surface to cut. Then I cut these into strips. And I turn them over. I cut them into strips and then I cube them. Pretty simple. And I'll keep on saying, if you have a very sharp knife is much safer if you're being protective in how you use it than a dull knife. A dull knife will slip around on you, and that's when you can really get hurt. So never try to go faster than you're comfortable with when you're dicing. Always go at a speed that you feel comfortable. And it's important to keep your knuckles curved. You'll see I'll make a mistake every once in a while and keep my fingers out here when the knife blade's away. Even if your knife blade is away, always keep your knuckles curled under because the knife blade will rest against your knuckle. And if you have your fingers curled under, there's no way you can cut your fingers. So that's really the safe and the proper way to do any type of cutting or dicing. Okay, so there's the tomatoes. The tomatoes are all done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chickpeas. I've got 1 15-ounce can of chickpeas. How easy is that? Just dump them in. And if you want, I've got clean hands. Just take and lift that up. I'll get a closer picture later on when everything's all done. Then what makes this IRAQI is beets. Okay, so I bought a can of sliced beets. If you want to boil, get fresh beets, that's even better, and boil them down till they're fork tender, let them cool off. And then you can see what I'm doing is I'm slicing pieces again, about the same size as the chickpeas. Okay, and what I'm doing is I'm putting these in a separate bowl. You do not want to put your beets in here and keep them in here because it'll take all of your cucumbers and everything else and your chickpeas, and it'll dye them red, and then it just doesn't look very pleasant. So what you do is you add these, or what I do is I add these individually when I'm serving. Okay, so you have the beets on the side, and either people can add the beets themselves, or if I'm plating and serving for them, I'll add them at the last time when I'm mixing the salad for them. So I still have a few more to slice, but for right now, I'll leave it like this, and we'll move on. So I'm going to set these aside for plating, and then the last thing that we're going to add, other than our salt and our sumac, is a lemon. Juice of a lemon. If you do not have a regular lemon and you have real lemon, the conversion factor of 1 lemon's juice is equal to 2 tablespoons of real lemon or bottled lemon juice. So I saw that. I rolled this on the workbench, okay? And what that does, that releases the juices. And if you don't have one of these things for juicing lemons, I highly recommend you do so, because what it does is it catches all of the seeds, and it actually squeezes out the optimum amount of lemon juice. You can see there's like nothing left in here. Now I'm going to take this juice. I'm going to pour, well, actually first, before you pour the juice or use the extra virgin olive oil, I'm going to take salt. I'm going to sprinkle salt in here liberally, and that's a little more than a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and same thing, a little more than a 1/4 teaspoon, almost a 1/2 teaspoon of sumac. And I'll show you sumac. Sumac is a purplish type color spice. And again, it provides some good citrus, almost lemon type flavor. And I'm going to mix this up with my hands. Then I'm going to pour my lemon juice in. The fresh lemon juice. And I'm going to mix it up with my hands. A lot of that lemon juice will stay at the bottom. That's fine. And then I'm going to pour in about maybe 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And let me wash my hands and get a bowl to serve in. I've got my bowl here. I need a spoon, a serving spoon. Told you I'm not going to stop. I'm just going straight through with this. I'm going to take a couple spoonfuls of this salad. Up. I'm going to mix in about a tablespoon of these beets.